So namaste everyone. A very good evening and welcome to this sitting and breathing session again. Nice to see all of you again. So for today, we are going to continue with our foundation of 4 foundations of mindfulness. And for today, particularly, we are going to turn our attention inwards to observe the mind itself, our thoughts, our emotions, and the different mental states. So in Buddhism, the mind is understood as a source of all experiences, whether they are pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. It is through the mind that we perceive, we interpret, and respond to the world around us. So you may ask, why do we want to know or want to be aware of our mind? Because, according to Jamgön, Kongtrul, Lodrö, you see, all of samsara and nirvana are your own mind. They don't arise from anything else in the slightest. Everything, such as joy and suffering, good and bad, high and low, are all conceptual constructs of mind. So in other words, our mind is a source of all our suffering or happiness. Most of us unconsciously allow our thoughts, emotions, moods, prejudices, our worries, power over us. We perceive them as solid, real, permanent, and independent. But like what Jamgön Rinpoche said, if I were to become aware of my habitual thoughts, perceptions, and sensations, rather than being carried away by them, their power over me would begin to fade. I would experience their coming and going as nothing more than the natural functions of the mind. So in the same way that waves naturally ripple across the surface of a lake or ocean. So, based on these teachings, the path of liberation begins with getting to know our mind and be familiar with how the mind functions. So when we start to look at our mind, look at its content and its processes, how it works, we begin to see that most of the content is on the surface of the wave. They're just visiting, changing all the time. So in this way, we start to gain insight into its transient, impermanent nature. And they arise also due to many causes and conditions. They're certainly not independent, but interdependent. And likewise, emotions also, they are made up of words, made up of images, sensations, our belief, many pieces, certainly not a single entity. So this will help us in recognizing that thoughts and emotions are not permanent entities, but rather they are fleeting phenomena that arise and pass away. And they are also not independent, but interdependent and multiplicity, not singular, because they are made up of many pieces, like images, sensations, words, and so on. So when a thought appears or disappears, before the next thoughts arise, sometimes you notice there is a gap in which there's no thought. This is the non-conceptual state. We notice that if, let's say, we continue to catch this gap, this non-conceptual state, we realize that underneath our mental chattel, there lies a very deep, more substantive knowing that would not be possible to recognize if we remain caught up in the stories that we create by our minds. And these are the stuff of our mind that fuel our distractions. That's what keeps us from recognizing this true nature. So of course, some of the content of our mind, the contents of our thoughts, they may be beneficial, and some, of course, obviously not. So through the practice, Our heightened awareness allows us to recognize the content of our minds, which is either unwholesome, such as greed, hatred, delusion, so we can abandon them. Or we can cultivate wholesome states or virtues like loving kindness, compassion, and wisdom. So, in short, in this meditation, we will explore the nature of our mind, such as the impermanence, its ever-changing flow, and the interdependent nature, and the absence of a single solid entity, plus also the non-self element, our mind. We will see that actually there's no one, there's no owner that give rise to all these thoughts and emotions. So by observing the mind this way, without attachment or aversion, we slowly can cultivate more clarity, equanimity, and insight. So in this practice, remember, our goal is not to judge or change our mind, but simply witness it, observe it with curiosity and compassion. So with that, let's begin by settling into the present moment. Adjust your posture if you want, and ground ourselves in the body and our breath, and gently turn our awareness to the mind as it is. So remember, there's no right or wrong way for the mind to be. Our task is to simply observe and understand. So let me invite 3 sounds of the bell and allow the sound of the bell to bring your awareness back to the mind. So begin by settling into a comfortable meditation posture with your mind, with your back relatively straight, yet relaxed. Your hand resting gently on your lap or your knees. If you like to close your eyes or softening your gaze to the floor, the space in front of you. And take a few deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose, all the way to the belly, and exhale slowly through the mouth. And allow your body to relax together with each exhalation. Another time, inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Inhale and exhale. Gently, not forcefully. Allow more relaxations with each exhalation. And bring your attention to the present moment. Let go of any worries or plans. This is your time to be fully present with your mind, to be fully with yourself. And let your mind be open and relaxed. Just rest for a few moments in this open, effortless awareness. Simply be. And setting the motivation, may this meditation enables me to see the true nature of our mind, so that I can liberate myself and others from samsara, from this suffering. So remember, in this practice, the goal is not to judge or change the mind, but to observe it with curiosity and compassion, and allow your awareness to be like a mirror, simply reflecting what arises. Now gently bring your awareness to the physical sensations of this body. Take a moment to feel the contact of your body with the chair or the cushion underneath. Feel the weight of your hands, the rise and fall of your chest with each breath. The sensations on your skin. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the body. This grounding in the body helps us to stabilize our mind, to prepare us for a deeper observation. And now gently shift your attention to the natural flow of your breath. Notice the sensations of your in-breath, your out-breath, at the nostril, either your chest or your abdomen. And this is a samadhi on breath practice. To use the breath as an anchor to the present moment. Simply be with the breath. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the breath again. The key here is to stay with the breath and remain alert and aware. And now, very gently, bring your awareness from the breath to the mind itself. Begin by asking, what is the state of my mind right now? Is it calm or restless? Is it focused or distracted? Happy? Sad? Neutral? Simply observe the mind without judgment and notice whatever is present. Are there any thoughts present? What are you thinking at this moment? Maybe a thought about things you need to get done, or what you are going to eat for tomorrow morning, or something that happened to you a while ago. Or it could be a thought, what am I doing now? Whatever thoughts are present is totally fine. Just observe it as a passing phenomenon, just like a cloud passing through the sky. You do not need to change them in any way or try to stop them. Just observe any thoughts that are present. And observe your thoughts, whether it is in the form of words, images, or what. Notice how they come and go, like a cloud drifting across the sky. And see if you can get hold or try to stop the thought from disappearing. And see what happened to the thoughts. Or maybe when you start to look at the thought disappear. And then in this moment, suddenly there's a gap of no thought, just a flicker, a moment of blank, empty. Then another thought appear. Notice the gap. So if we can see, we can watch your thoughts like watching a movie. The movie scene is always changing, moment to moment. Same goes for your thoughts. And see if you can find that there is an emotion that arises at the same time. Observe it with the same detachment. What is the state of your emotions right now? Bored, confused, relaxed, neutral. Look closer. Ask yourself, where is it? Can you find the emotion? See if the emotion is one single thing or does it consist of different pieces. Perhaps you'll find that there are some sensations present in the body. Could be same, at the same time, there are some thoughts or images in your head. Or maybe words, the inner voice, the creating stories. Continue to explore the emotions or pieces of the emotion in this way and see what happens. Perhaps you will also see emotions are fleeting, rising and falling, coming and going, like the waves in the ocean. And now rest in open awareness. Allow your mind to be natural and open. Remain aware of the state of your mind. If the mind feels scattered or distracted, notice that too. There's no need to force any concentration. Simply be aware that this is the mind's current state. And if your mind becomes very calm, very still, observe that as well. Notice how even stillness or calm is impermanent, changing from moment to moment. And perhaps you can also ask, where do all these thoughts and emotions arise from? How do they come about? And where? Where do they go to when they are gone? Maybe you notice that it operates without a permanent self that directing it. There's no owner that creates these thoughts or emotions. Continue to notice how this mind is constantly changing. No thoughts or emotion last forever. They come from nowhere and dissolve to nowhere. When you try to look for it, you cannot really grasp it. The nice thing is, when you let the thought and emotion to be as they are, without clinging or aversion, there is peace. But if we try to cling on to them, believe in them, or resist them, it creates suffering. So with this understanding, see if we could just rest in this awareness, this understanding. Simply observe with detachment. Observe with clarity and equanimity. Simply recognize the true nature of our mind. Thoughts, emotions come and go like clouds in the sky. There's nothing real or solid in them. And when you observe with this kind of a detachment, you may notice that this is just a mind. It's not my mind. In this way, you're helping to cultivate the insight of non-self, anatta. There's no ownership to this mind. Now rest in open awareness. And gently bring your attention back to the breath. Feel the natural rhythm of your breathing. And use the breath to ground yourself once more and integrating the insight you have gained from observing the mind. Take a moment to appreciate your practice, whether the mind was calm or busy. At least you have taken the time to observe it with mindfulness and set an intention to carry this awareness into your daily life. And try to notice your mind state as you go about your day or evening, whether when you're working, speaking, and resting. And before we end, let's make a dedication that may whatever virtues that arise from this practice benefits not just myself, but all beings. So when you're ready, you may gently open your eyes and take a moment to stretch your body and reorient yourself to the surrounding you're in.